Welcome to Developer Service YouTube channel. On today's episode, we're going to be getting started with Pyglet, which is a cross-platform window and multimedia library for Python. So pretty much you can build the desktop applications with this library. This is their website, pyglet.org. And in this tutorial, we're going to build simple, small example applications to get to know how to use this library to build graphic user interfaces in several different platforms, including Windows, macOS, and also in Linux. So to get started with the code, I have our simple project in Python. And in terms of the requirements, we only need one, which is Pyglet. That you'll need to do with the pip install, or you can do the requirements and install it like that. Let's now take a look at the first example. So in our first example, we're going to build a very simple window for an application. This is our example file. Let me just run to show what is it's going to be the output. So it's just a window and pretty much a blank window itself. So let's see what the code is necessary for that. We import our Pyglet, of course. We define a window with the Pyglet window. We do a window event with the decorator that on the draw method, then it clears the window, meaning it draws the window. And finally, we run the Pyglet application with app run. So as you can see, very simple code to create a running application. So now let's take a look at our second example. Let me first run. So on this example, we're going to be detecting both the mouse press and the key press. Let me just run the example. Again, the same basic window. If you look at the terminal here on the bottom, I can click the mouse and it detects the position and where the mouse has been clicked. Several different points of the screen. And also I can type the keys and it detects which keys have been pressed. So let's take a look at the code that runs this example. So as usual, we import our Pyglet. We create a window with the Pyglet window. And in this case, we are passing a width and the height. In this case, 800 by 600. Again, we're using the window event decorator to decorate some events. The first event is on mouse press that receives obviously the X and Y coordinates and also the button and any other possible modifiers. And with that, we are just printing the mouse position in the terminal. With the other window event, we are detecting the on key press that receives the symbol and also possible modifiers. Again, we're just outputting the symbol, and the symbol here being the key that we just pressed. And again, we run our application with the Pyglet app run. So now let's take a look at our third example. In this third example, we're going to be drawing on the screen. Let's run the example. As you can see, we're just drawing a rectangle in a specific position on the screen. This kind of shows how you can draw shapes with Pyglet. Let's see the code that runs this. As usual, the import Pyglet, we're defining our window with a specific size. In terms of Pyglets and how the rendering of graphics work, it's always better in terms of performance to draw in a batch. So the first thing we do, we create a batch with the Pyglet graphics and creating a batch. And then we are creating a square, and that we're going with the Pyglet shapes, and we're drawing a rectangle. So the X and Y position, the weight and the height, and we're specifying a color, in this case red. And we're passing in to which batch do we want to render this rectangle, the batch that we created previously. As usual, we're using the window event decorator, in this case the onDraw, to render the screen. So first we clear the window, and then we draw our batch, and our batch is our graphics batch that can draw one square, or it can draw several other squares, or any other objects that we can draw on the screen. And as usual, Pyglet app run to run this example. Now let's take a look at the example number 4. In this example, we are going to be drawing images on the screen on the application. In this case, I have an image.png file here with a nice cute fox. And let's run the example to see how it looks. And as you can see, we're rendering the image inside the application. We're running with a little bit of offset. That's why it's not viewing the full screen of the application. So let's see the code for that. We import our Pyglet. We are creating our window with a specific size. We're again defining a graphics batch so that we can render the image. So the graphics batch can draw shapes, but it can also draw images. We're loading our image from the image.png file, and we're doing that with the Pyglet image load. We're creating a sprite, and the sprite is also a more optimal and performant way to draw images on the screen. So we are initiating our sprite with Pyglet sprite. The image is the image that we just loaded before. We're passing it a specific position, and that's why we saw that offset in the application. And we're passing in our batch in which we want this sprite to be rendered. Again, our window event on draw method, clearing the window, drawing the batch, and then our Pyglet app run to run the application. Let's now take a look at our fifth example. And on this example, we're going to be playing audio, in this case an MP3, but you can also play a WAV file or any other type of audio file. Let's hear it. As you can see, we have a blank screen, but we have the audio playing in the background. So let's see the code for that. We import our Pyglet, we are defining our window, all of this is standard by now. And we're loading our song, so with the Pyglet media in the load method, we're loading this MP3 file, and we're then simply just playing the song. And on the window event, we have our onDraw method, and we have the window clear. Even though we're not rendering anything on the screen, we still need to have the onDraw with the window clear so that something is actually rendered on the screen. And we're doing our Pyglet app run to run the application. For our sixth example, we're going to be continuing with the media. In this case, we're going to be playing a video file, an MP4 file. Let's take a look at the running application. And as you can see, we're playing the movie. You might know the movie here. And let me just stop. It's the Big Buck Bunny example movie. So as you can see, it was playing perfectly fine. There is a couple of nuances to do. First, you're going to need to download the FFmpeg library files, and you can then paste them in one of the folders, a lib folder inside your project. And remember, you need the source, not the executables, because you need to have the library, so the DLLs, in this case of Windows. You need to have that in this lib directory. And then we do our import Pyglet, and we need to define this option, the Pyglet options, which means searching local libraries. So this lib library here with FFmpeg libraries, and we set that to true so that it can load from that lib. This particular version of Pyglet seems to work better with FFmpeg 6.1, the most recent version, the 7th version. It was not playing correctly at the time that I was trying these examples, so keep that in mind. I do mention that in the article also. So again, we are creating our window with the Pyglet window. We are creating a media player, so with a media player, because for playing a video file, it should be inside the context of a player. You saw before in the previous example 5, that we can just load an MP3 file and play that directly. For a video file, the recommended way is doing through a player. You can also play the other file through a player, but definitely for a video, the recommended is with a player, because you need to draw something on the screen. So we're creating our media player. We are loading our video with the Pyglet media load, just like we did for the MP3 file. Then we are queuing this video inside the player, and we are playing then the video. Again, we have our window on draw event, and unlike the other file that nothing would happen, in this case, the actual render of the video happens. So we have our player, which is the media player that we defined here before. So we have our player, and we have the textures, and we do bleed, which is render on the screen, and we're defining the initial position 0, 0. So we are occupying in this case the full screen, because the video resolution is quite large. And we do our Pyglet app run. For our seventh example, we're going to be drawing text on the screen. Let's take a look at that in action. And we can see we're rendering the classic hello world on the screen. Let's see the code that is necessary for that. As usual, import the Pyglet, defining our window. Since we are rendering something on the screen, and rendering text is similar to rendering a shape or an image, we're again creating our graphics batch with the graphics batch. We're creating label. In this case, it's a text label. We are passing in our text, hello world. We're passing in our font size and also the position, X and Y. And like any other type of graphics that we are used to draw by now, we are passing in the badge, the graphics badge, in where we want this text to be rendered or this label to be rendered. So we have our window event decorator with the undraw method. We clear the window and we draw the badge so that the text or the label gets shown on the screen. And we do our Pyglet app run to run the application. So the 8th and final example is very similar to the previous one. Let me run it. We're again loading a text on the screen, but as you can see, we have a different font here for the hello world. Let's see the code for that. Again, import our Pyglet, we create our window, we create our batch files, we create our label with the text.label. We pass the text hello world, and the difference here, we pass a specific font name, and we pass again the font size, the position, and the batch and where we want the label to be rendered, our window decorator, our on draw, and we do the window clear, and we do the batch draw to render on the screen, and we do our Pyglet app run. And that is it. As you can see, with these simple but very functional examples, it's quite easy to create a window application with Pyglet. If you want to get this source code, you can go to developer service blog and to the getting started with Pyglet article, and there will be a button to get the source code. Do a like if you like this video. Subscribe to this channel to get notified when we have more content about Python, Django, AI, and other technologies. Thank you for watching, and until next time, happy coding!